Original Yorha Unit 4B reporting to duty. The mission is Review NieR Automata. I'm here to talk about the story as an original character inspired by the universe of NieR Automata. I recently had the opportunity of playing the game and finishing it. I had started it a while ago, but I was stuck not due to a boss or difficult fights, but because I simply got lost with the map and all the side missions that I had accepted within NieR. And I finally finished it, and I have to say that I loved the experience. The game is not flawless, but it's a really good game in its genre and in its visuals, and of course in the fantastic music. So NieR tells the story of a post-apocalyptic world where humans or the Earth was attacked by aliens, and the humans, to survive, supposedly escaped to the moon, where they have a sort of foundation to survive. And they built androids so they could be sent to Earth and fight in their place to get rid of the aliens and the machines they created, and therefore make planet Earth hospitable for humans again, because the machines are programmed to destroy any human and android on sight. As you progress in the game, you will find out that this isn't exactly how it's happening. So your main objective is to follow the orders that come from the bunker, but as you play as 2B, you will discover that sometimes you question those orders, because you have this mission of destroying any machine on sight, but then you discover that not all machines are violent. Some even try to build villages, like Pascal, which is a really likable character. He's a really interesting character. So for the characters, you have 2B, with whom you play first. With her you will get to know NieR, because you are doing various missions and NieR is assigned to accompany you, and supposedly the model 2B and the model of NieR are usually paired together, and they really build an interesting relationship until you finish Path A, where at the end of all this time in which you get closer to NieR, you ultimately, due to all the hacking that he does, he becomes influenced by the virus that affects the machines, and ultimately you have to kill him with your own hands. 2B has to kill him. Then for Path B, you will play with NieR, so you will have the opportunity to witness all the events that you played through the Path A, but with NieR being the main character. You won't see many changes because the dialogues are the same. 2B is most of the time quiet, so she doesn't talk more when you play as NieR, because then again you are playing exactly the same path, but this time with NieR. You will have the opportunity to uncover more of the stories of the machines, because with the hacking that NieR does, and I think it's a really interesting form of gameplay, you get to know more bits and pieces of information. So it's really interesting. You will understand that the hacking is driving him mad, but at the same time, with him, you want to do as many hacking as you can. It's not that his fighting skills aren't good. Although he is the character himself that says he's not designed for fighting, but his fighting is pretty normal, I guess. But the hacking is the ability that you want to explore more. Then for Path C, you will play with A2, so if you ever saw images of NieR, you will see that you have 2B, which is the short-haired girl, you have NieR, which is the boy, and then you have 2A, which is a kind of 2B with longer hair. So sorry to disappoint any of you that were looking forward to play with A2, but A2 cuts her hair in the beginning of Path C, so you will play with a short-haired A2 also. You only see A2 in one moment through paths A and B, which is when you are trying to kill the Forest King and she appears and does it before you can, and then you will fight her because the bunker sends instructions that she is a traitor and that she must be captured or killed, but you can't defeat her. In Path C, A2 is basically continuing the missions. Path C isn't a path A or B in A2's perspective, it's actually the sequel of those two paths, so you are seeing what comes next. And A2 is basically trying to do her own justice because she wants to kill all the machines, and at the same time, 9S is seeking her for revenge because you will discover that 2B ends her path in the beginning of Path C because A2 kills her after 2B becomes infected with the virus that is affecting the other androids. And if she wasn't killed, it would be A2 and any other androids that she would encounter. So she begs A2 to kill her and then transfers her memories to A2 and also her pod and asks her to protect 9S. I think the difficulty between path A and B and then to path C really escalates quickly because the fights with A2 are much more difficult. Also, if you repeat the last chapter where you decide if you are fighting with A2 or 9S because they are bound to face off each other in the last fight, you get the path C if you fight with A2 and win, and you get path D when you fight with 9S and win. Then it's basically the pods talking with each other, and the pod of 2B says that he can't accept this end. So he convinces 9S's pod to reset the world. So they really break the fourth wall in path E. So you are basically shooting a bullet hell through the credits, which are enormous, so that you can basically destroy the game and create a happy ending for all the characters, because in neither of the paths, I mean C and D, neither of them survive. So A2 wins the battle by killing 9S by deactivating him, and then she basically tells the pod to take him to somewhere else and decides to explode with the tower of the machines, decides to explode and kill herself. When 9S is successful in killing A2, he decides, well, I took that decision. I decided to stay on Earth and he basically dies next to 2B. It isn't a happy ending for any of the characters. So the pods are really sad about this and they just decide to reset the game, and that's how it ends. The three androids are safe back at the beginning, and they are alive after all this is done. Basically, they reset the characters at their beginning, but they didn't reset the world, so the world is rid of the machines. It's a really interesting game. It raises a lot of different questions and you are always trying to piece the information that you can acquire together, because it's a really complex world, and the side missions really help you do that because you have reactions from the characters. Well, you have reactions from 9S especially, he's the most talkative. I only did, I think, 17% of the side missions, which is a shame, but at a certain point, NieR really has a problem with the map. The map has different layers because you have paths underground, you have paths through the buildings, through the trees. So it's really difficult to follow the map, and you are trying to get to a certain point and you can't understand where it is. It was really difficult. I was only able to understand the map because my boyfriend basically played the game with the help of a walkthrough, and then he helped me connect some dots so I could know where I should go. But then you kind of get the hang of the map, but I think that's a really huge flaw of the game. It's that map, it's a pain. As for the visuals, I think the sceneries are beautiful. The way they construct the human world after it's basically been destroyed, it's it's simply hypnotizing. The designs of the androids, it's also, they are all truly beautiful. I would like to play both 2B and A2. They have different personalities, but they are both kuderes, so I like them both for different reasons. Maybe A2 is a little bit more antisocial and serious, and 2B is more emotional, although she doesn't let out much of that. 9S though is my favorite character. He really, I really like the way he seems joyful, but then he also has this really mean side to it, and the way he repeatedly goes mad and influenced by all the hacking that he does through the game. Also, the voice acting. The voice acting is incredible. I didn't play the English version. I played with the Japanese voice acting. So you have the voice actress of Mikasa and Violet from Violet Evergarden for 2B, and you have Natsuki Hanae, the voice actor of Kose and Kaneki for 9S. And for what I know, the voice actress for A2 doesn't have really prominent roles or known roles that I know of, but the voice acting is superb. I really do prefer the Japanese voice acting to the English one. And the music. The music is one of the best parts. It's such a treat to the ears, you visiting different locations, you having different moments and battles, and just be surrounded by that marvelous music. There are really no words to describe how good the soundtrack is. I posted some on my social media because it's really phenomenal. And I played basically the main paths. I played path A, B, C, and D, and at the end of path E, I sacrificed my save data to help people that go to path E. So I hope to help other players. I don't know because it's random. So it was deleted because I sacrificed it to help other people, and I won't be getting any soon into the game again to explore all the other endings, because the other endings don't really add up story. I think they are just different deaths, or you backing away from a battle that you shouldn't and basically ending bad the game. So I'm really satisfied with this, and I really recommend NieR. NieR has, I like the hack and slash style. I'm more of a distance, so I'm not very fond of the close range, but I managed to get used to it. And I also had one trouble because my boyfriend said it was possible to have auto dodge and other things like that, and I didn't have any of that, so all my battles were really manual. In one side, it really makes me proud of myself because all the merit is mine, but at the same time I died too many times when maybe the battles could have been a little bit easier. I know that NieR Replicant comes out, the remake, on my birthday, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope to play other games with this experience. Tell me your favorite moments in NieR, tell me your favorite characters, and see you next time. 4B logging out.